Hello all, a very good morning. Can you hear me? Hello all of you, a very good morning to you. Hope all of you are safe at home and doing well in your for your lab and for your lab and theory. Now today we are going to discuss about the assignment number 9, 10, 11. So assignment number 9, just wait. Are you able to see the PPT, the presentation? Is it visible? Okay. So in last presentation, in last Zoom meeting, actually we discuss about the serial port programming, ISR based, connect the two, in that assignment, serial port programming, we are just sending the characters call as an PICT from one end to another end, that is from transmitter to receiver. Okay, so for that purpose, we use some special function register, and in that program I will open the program. Just we will discuss somewhat about that program and then we'll go for the next part of the assignments. So whatever we discussed in the last assignment, are you able to see the kill? Are you able to see the kill simulator, kill simulator? Just check. Okay, fine. So again, discussing about the assignment number 9, that is a serial port communication. In that serial port communication, we transfer the string PICT, or you can say the characters P, then I, then C, and then T, and star, from one end to another end, that is from transmitter to receiver. Now, to transmit through the serial port, we know that there are two different types of ports are there. One is called as a parallel port and another one is called as a serial port. When the distance is short, then that time we are using a parallel port. When the distance is not short, it is a big one or it is a large one, then that time we are using a serial port communication. So whenever we are transmitting a serial port communication, so that time only one character is transferred. Okay, and then after receiving at the other end, that character after receiving at the other end, then we are transferring the second character, then we are transferring the third character. Like that, the serial port communication transfer byte by byte from one end to another end. Now this character is you can say here this character is added with the two more bits. So characters are having 8 bits, that is ASCII value of a character. Any character ka ASCII value is a 8-bit character we are considering, because we are considering here serial mode 1. Okay, so in that, total number of bits taken for one character is 8-bit. Now with this 8-bit, start and stop bit is also there. So start bit is for starting that character. Now it started to transfer the character from one end to another end, and the another one is receiver. So receiver, how it will get ki whether the character is ended or not. So for that, stop bit is there. So one start bit, one stop bit, and 8 bit for one character. So total number of 10 bits are taken whenever we are transferring one character from one end to another end. Now, what is the use of this start bit and stop bit? Now, start bit, as I said, ki whenever we are starting to send a particular character from one end to another end, the start of our byte is always, you can say, is always identified by the start bit. And the stop bit is nothing but now whether this character is ended or not. For that purpose, the stop bit is used. Now, this start bit and stop bit is used by the there is an special function register. 1 minute. So this is what the you can say a frame for a sending a particular character. Now the special function register which we are using in our serial port programming. So this is called as an SCON register, which is a most important register from an SFR, which we use in our serial port communication. So now in this 8-bit register, the first 3 bits SM0, SM1, SM2 is used for setting a particular mode. REN is used for receiver, whether set, that means whenever you set, that means that time enable the reception, and whenever it is 0, the disable the reception. TB8 and RB8 is not used at all for our purpose right now. The last 2 bits TI and RI is used for the transmit interrupt and receive interrupt, as the transmit interrupt and receive interrupt. So now here this TI bit we are using in our program. So this is called as an SCON register ka configuration. Okay, these are the bits present in SCON register. Now what we are doing in our program? So in our program, this is what an window of our program is. Just wait. So in our program, we set the value of SCON register as an 50. So 50 hexadecimal. So you just convert into the binary 0101, and the last 4 bits are 000. So initially we are setting SM0 as a 0, SM1 as an 1, SM2 as an 0. So right now see, SM2 we are not using, it is used for multiprocessor. SM0 and SM1 is used to set a particular mode from 4 different modes: mode 0, mode 1, mode 2, mode 3. So from that, mode 1 is used for in our case, and that's why here is 101 is used, or it's set in a SCON register. Another thing is that is REN bit we set as an 1, and that's why the value is 101, because receive we keep the receiver as an enable, so that it can receive whatever the characters we are sending from our end. So that is what the SCON ka value, and that's why we set the value as an 50H. Now see here, I can write this value in this way also. I can write here 0101 and then 4 times 0, and then you have to write B for the binary. So you can write like this, or you can write in a hexadecimal value. So this is called as an SCON ka register ka configuration. Now the another 2 special function registers which we are using in our program is TMOD, TH1. You can say TMOD. So TMOD is nothing but to set a particular mode of a timer. Why we need a timer here? Because the baud rate, the rate of transfer, the data transfer rate, that is called as an baud rate. So this baud rate is 9600 that we have to set in our program. So 9600, to set that value here, the mod, that is a timer. We have actually the 2 timers with us, timer 0 and timer 1. So from that 2 timers, whether we are using a timer 0 or we are using a timer 1, that depends on us. So if you set the value, TMOD ka value as an 20H, that means you are selecting timer 1. Okay, and from that the mode 2. So that timer you are selecting, and now this mode 2 is nothing but it is auto reloaded. It's a 8-bit auto reloaded. The timer ka mode 2 is nothing but auto reload mode, and timer 1 or timer 0, that depends on our choice. Whatever the value we put in a TMOD register, depends on that the timer 0 or timer 1 is selected. So that is called as an the timer ka setting. Now the another thing is, just wait. Now the another thing which we are using in our program called as an TH1. So auto reload, in that we set some value in a timer ka high byte, and that is auto reloaded whenever the timer is start. That time it is auto reloaded into the TL1 register, that is a low byte of the TL1, and then it start our time, it start its timer. -3 is nothing but baud rate we want as a 9600 baud rate. This is a value. The different baud rates are there. That is data transfer value is there. From that 9600, this baud rate we are right now considering, and from this 9600 the -3 value is comes, that it's we are getting the -3 value, and that we set into the th1 register. Okay, the calculation is already present in my presentation, so you can go with the presentation and you can check the why the -3 value is taken for the 9600. Okay, so now we transfer the value 50, 49, 43, 54, nothing but PICT, these characters. These are the hexadecimal value of each character, and after this character the this subroutine is called. Now this subroutine is present here. This is called as a subroutine of trans. In that the a ka value, accumulator ka value, because that value is transferred into an accumulator, that value is transferred into the sbuf register. Buffer register is required to temporarily store the value. And now here we are writing one statement called as a jump if not bit ti comma here. Now the meaning of this statement is ti, whenever the ti bit is set to 1, then that time it will come out from this loop. Otherwise it will continue, it will just you can say going into an infinite for this statements, because this statement is executing again and again till the ti value is going to 1. Okay, so ti is what? Ti is nothing but 1 bit from your scon register. The last 2 bits we consider ti and ri. So from this ti is the second one bit, the second last bit. So second last bit ti is transmit interrupt. So whenever the transmit interrupt, that means whenever the last bit is transferred to the other end, okay, so that time, or you can say the stop bit is transferred to the other end, then that time ti raised to high, that means the value of ti goes to 1, and then it will come out of this loop and it will goes to clear this ti value and again return back to transfer the another character. So return back to the transfer of another character called as an I. So this is what actually the serial port communication. Now now how to execute this program? So I already explained how to execute. Once again we are discussing that. So here just say start debug. Okay, now in this debug window you can able to see this serial window, then you are able to see this serial channel, and this is what your code is, actual code is. Now these are the register, these are the system register, and this is value of PSW. Okay, now in the debug, you have one option called as a run option. Now step-by-step debugging you can do by using this step into wala option. Yellow cursor will come into your screen and you just say execute. So it will give you that value into an scon register. Now here, if you want to check the execution, okay, directly, you want to check the output. Okay, so that time here the serial window, in that you can able to see this PICT star window, sorry, these characters into this window coming continuously, okay, till you stop your execution. So continuously you are getting the PICT in your serial window. Now here we are not actually interfacing 8051 with our program. Okay, basically in our lab what we need to do, we have to connect a 8051 kit with our terminal, and then we have to burn the program. We have to create a hex file. So how to create an hex file? So for that purpose, just I'm again coming back from your execution. You are able to see the execution. Now here in a target, in a options, there is a window called as an output, and in output there is an option called as an create a hex file. Just click on this create an hex file wala option and say okay. You can give the executable file ka name also. You can change your executable file name, but by default it is taken as an whatever the project name is, that is taken for your hex file. So you said okay, the hex file, and then you say the build. Okay, whenever you said a build, that time it is giving you creating a hex file from a serial. So that hex file is created, and now this hex file you need to burn in your flash magic, and there you can able to then that hex file you need to burn through this flash magic on your 8051. Okay, if the time permits, whenever the college opens, then I will show you the actual execution on your 8051 kit. But right now, this is what an execution of your serial port. Any question about the serial port communication so that I can go for the next assignment or the next part of this assignment? Any question? Yes, any question to anyone? Okay, fine. Now, please read the statement very carefully. Okay, in this statement, okay. Now, are you able to see the PPT? Okay, I will share my PPT on my drive. Afterwards, you can able to get this PPT. Okay. Now, see here, in this statement, the statement is ISR base. And afterwards, whatever the statement is, that is connect the two 8051 controller and this, whatever the CRO and byte to the port 1. Don't bother about this statement. Previously, in our lab, we use CRO terminal to show the execution of this serial port communication. Right now, in our lab, we are not using the CRO. Instead of that CRO, whatever the FlashMagic ka terminal or the hyper terminal, that terminal means a black screen, just like in our command prompt. Okay, so that terminal we are using to show the execution of this PICT. So don't bother about these statements, like the remaining part of the statement, college and connect to 8051 वगैरह वगैरह thing. Okay, you just concentrate on the program whatever I discuss in our session. Only there is a two types of thing present. Still there are the two types of thing present. So here it says that ISR base. Now what do you mean by this ISR word? ISR is nothing but interrupt service routine. We are writing any interrupt service routine. Just wait. We are writing any interrupt service routine in our program. Again, I will go into an Kill software. Now, in our program here, are you able to see any ISR? ISR means interrupt service routine. So any interrupt service routine is present? Yes or no? No. So how to write ISR based serial port communication? So for that purpose, just wait. For that purpose, what is required? Okay, I will show you that program also. Actually, this program is also a correct one. Okay, don't get panic. This is a wrong program. No, this is a correct program. Only in the oral, if the external ask you ISR based, what do you mean by that? Then at that time you just explain. Okay, it is not expected that you implement, but you can explain that ISR base also. Okay, so what is this ISR base? Now I will open a new project called as an serial one. Now this is called as an ISR base. Now here in this, okay, you are able to get this additional code. Are you, all of you, are you able to see the kill? Are you able to see the serial underscore ISR text file? Okay, fine. So in this code, now what do you mean by ISR? That I need to explain somewhat, and then I will explain you the program. So for that purpose, again I am opening the PPT college and serial port communication. Now, not going in detail with the theory, but ISR routine. This is interrupt service routine from 8051. I'm directly opening that. Now this is what I interrupt service routine. Now, what do you mean by ISR routine? Interrupt service routine, when we are calling, and what is the use of that? Now, see, whenever the interrupt occurs, okay, that time it will goes to execute the interrupt service routine. It will execute that interrupt service routine and again come back to your normal execution. Now, in our serial port communication, which interrupt occurs? Okay, now you have the two bits, call as an TI bit and the two bits called as an TI bit and SI bit, okay, in your SCON register. So now this TI bit is called as an transmit interrupt and receive interrupt. These two bits are there in a serial port. Okay, so these two bits are used to you can say whenever these two bits are getting as an one, or whenever that the value of TI or RI, or I'm using a or between this, because any one bit, any one from these two bit, if going to an high, then that time it is automatically called the ISR routine. If it is present in your program, it will execute that ISR routine from your program, and then going to the execute the remaining or the normal code of your program. Now, to include the ISR in your program, what is required? You should know about the ISR memory location, where this ISR serial port ka ISR is present. You should know which that means for the serial port communication which memory location is used. Okay, so from where we will get this memory location. Now see, in the 8051, basically interrupt vector table, in that 6 interrupts are there: reset, external hardware, timer 0, external hardware, timer 1, and serial port. Now last one, that is a serial comp interrupt. So RI and TI bit is there. So in that RI and TI bit, the memory location called as 0023. So at this memory location, you can write your ISR. So now see here, I will directly show you the execution. I will directly show you the code. Okay. Now here in your program, just you are writing one statement called as an org23h, and there I'm writing ljump serial. Okay, the same thing I'm added in my code. I will share you that code. Okay, so this ljump serial is nothing but here in the serial, this label, serial label, what we are doing, we are just transferring whatever the value is present in SBUF into the accumulator, and then from accumulator to the P0. See, this label and these 4 lines are newly added in your previous program. Now what it will do, it will continuously monitoring. Now this statement is there, jump if not bit, that statement is also present in your program. So I will open the program. Now see, in this program, here this statement is there. In the previous code also this statement is there. Now jump if not bit, ti comma here, this is nothing but this is called as an polling method. Polling method means what? It is continuously monitoring the transmit bit. If the transmit bit is whenever the transmit bit is set to 1, then automatically wherever your program counter is, it will automatically transfer your program counter, the PC, to a code called as an serial port communication wala code, to a ISR routine, or you can say it will automatically transfer to the ISR routine. Okay, I will show you the execution. So here if I start, okay, right now this is your code. Okay, so I will directly show now here, instead of showing the whole execution, just check. Now the statement call as and jump if not bit ti comma here. If you are able to see the ti bit, then right now the value of ti bit is equal to 0. So that means it is not set to 1. I said yes, again I'm executing that. Okay, and whenever this bit set to 1, it goes to the previously the value of program counter is 0060. It is automatically changed to 0023. That means it takes that memory location for executing the code, and it's coming to the location called as n 23. Okay, memory location called as n 23. At the 23 memory location, your ISR routine is present for the serial port. Okay, so it goes to execute that serial port ka ISR routine, and then it's come back to the next instruction, whatever present after the jump if not bit. That means it is executing, you can say, the ISR routine, whatever present for your serial port. Now see, why I'm taking the memory location call as and 23 only for the serial ISR. Now, again, I'm opening the PPT. So here in this PPT, see, the whatever the interrupts are there, that interrupts takes a particular memory location. Each interrupt takes by default what do you say, in which case ISR routine is executed in whenever the TI bit is set to 1. If ISR routine is present in your program, then it will execute that ISR routine. Getting this? And why we are writing this ISR, when we require to write this ISR routine? See, you can write ISR routine in your normal program also, but normally this ISR routine is required whenever you want to do two parallel things, right? Like here, we want to transmit the character P to the serial port also, and at the same time, we want to transfer this character P to the port 0. That means I want to show the value P in a port 0 as well as on the serial port communication. So that time I can use this ISR routine. Okay. It is not mandatory to use the ISR routine. But if your program is ISR based, then that time you write or you use this routine in your program, or you include this routine in your program. Are you able to get this serial com interrupt? So there are RI and TI, these two bits are there. But any one bit you are checking whether it is set to 1 or not. And if it is set to 1, then you are just, or you are writing a ISR routine in your program, you are included that. It goes to that memory location, collision 0023, and it will execute that ISR routine and your normal execution. The program execution is not changing. The same execution you are getting here also, in that case also. Any problem? Any problem with this? Yes, you can write without ISR also. There's no problem. Your program is not a, no, you can, I cannot say ki your program is wrong. But if external ask you, if I want to include the ISR routine, you should know the memory location and how to add in your program. So basically, whatever the program I explained, that program, the previous one, that is a correct one. But if external ask you ISR based routine, then that time you are able to explain, and that's why I'm showing you this ISR wala routine for the serial port. Okay, any problem? Any question for the serial port communication? Okay, I think the meeting time is remaining only 3 minutes. Today it is not extended. So to, okay, the flow of ISR routine. Okay, I will show you. 1 minute. Now see, here in your program, it will, now see, whenever you transfer, you call the trans subroutine. So it comes here, trans subroutine, it will transfer A ka value into SBUF, and then it will come to the next line. So on the next line, you one statement is there, that is jump if not bit, TI comma here. So it will continuously monitoring the TI bit, whether it is set to 1 or not. If it is not set to 1, it is executing the same statement again and again. Now, whenever the TI is set to 1, instead of going to execute the next statement, what it will do, it will go to the memory location collision 23 if it is present in your program. And then at that memory location, you already write key ljump serial. After this, your statement is ljump serial. So it will come to the serial level, and here whatever the routine you are writing into your ISR, that routine is executed. Now what I'm doing here, I'm just transferring that value into the P0, that port P0. Okay, and that's why that value is transferred to the P0, and then I clear the RI bit, and after this return RETI, that is returning from the interrupt, it will come back to this statements, it will clear the TI bit also, and it will return from this routine and just transfer the 49 value into the A. So this is what an ISR routine is, interrupt service routine. Now it is not mandatory, it is an optional. If you want, you can add this ISR in your program. If it is asked, then you can add this ISR routine. Without ISR also you can show the execution. But only the thing is that if the ISR is added, what is a memory location taken by this ISR and how it is used Okay, that you should know, and that's why I'm explaining this ISR program also to you. The execution is same. You are getting the PICT string only in your serial port, the serial window. The thing is, here we are included the ISR. Huh. Jump occur because automatically, because of this TI bit is set to 1. When now see, in this code one more statement is added in your initialization part, that I need to sorry, that I forget to explain. And that string is move IE comma 100100. This is interrupt enable. Interrupt enable means what? This will enable the interrupt collision serial port interrupt. So if this value of serial port is equal to 1, I will share the PPT with you. So in that, this IE bit, in that the serial port ka 1 bit is there, that is called as an IE.4. So that bit is set to 1 because of this statements. And then what it will do, whenever the TI raised to 1, it automatically goes to the memory location called as an 23 memory location. The memory location called as an 23. So this is what the jumping occur because of this ISR. Are you able to get this?